The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
All right, everybody. Welcome, 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 welcome. Great to have so many folks here. Let's see. First thing I want to make sure is that we've got our little audio visuals all happening the right way. So you should be able to hear me hopefully loud and clear, and you should be able to see the title slide here for 7 Steps to Speaking Driven Success. Just type in the chat box if that's coming across loud and clear. You can hear okay, you can see okay, and you're ready to rock this thing and make some major improvements to your speaking driven business. But I want to make sure that we can see and we can hear. All of that is happening.
I can hear you, David.
Oh, thank goodness, Teresa. Thank goodness. All right. So David is here. Niels is here. Margot, Marilyn, Bobby, Jeff. Brett says all goog, which I'm guessing is all good. But believe me, there would be some goog later on. There'll be some goog later on. So Sporty says all good in Charlotte. Keith, Gabriella, Ryan, Matt, Colin, the other
Kino.
Brett, and Kino.
Brett says, LOL, yup.
That is it. All right, let's get the magic started. We're gonna get the magic started right here. By the way, if you guys want to share the love here as we're getting rolling, the web link to get your 17 new best friends in on this is 7stepsmasterclass.com. You can share that on Twitter. You can tweet that out. You can Facebook it. You can Google Plus it. Anyone that you feel needs to know about what we're doing in here, 7 Steps Masterclass. I'll pop that in the chat just so you have it handy. 7 Steps Masterclass. Typing does count. There it is. That will get all your friends and relations into this fabulous teaching and hopefully monetizing and learning and maximizing their speaking driven business just like you are about to do. Okay. So, yeah, I think we're good to go. The recording's on. Teresa's here. I'm here. Let's do this. What do you think?
Let's do it.
Okay. All righty. Here we go. So, just to make sure you didn't wander into some random webinar that's meant for plumbing supply people or lunch ladies or who knows, here's who this is for. This is for you if you want to become a better entrepreneur of your expertise. So what that means is speakers, authors, coaches, consultants, trainers, what we call thought-leading entrepreneurs and professional service providers. In other words, if you use your expertise, knowledge, or wisdom to create unique breakthroughs for your clients and audiences, you are in the right place, and this training today is for you. There's nothing for sale on this webinar, but I do recommend that you sit back, relax, turn off all distractions. If you're in an office environment, close your door, put your phone on silent or vibrate, turn off email, close that Facebook window, pay close attention so we can maximize your learning and your doing, and so that you can apply these 7 strategies and these 7 case studies that Teresa and I will share with you right away. I can't tell you how important it is. Focus leads to action, leads to results. If you're not focused on this, you won't take the right action, or you won't take the action the right way. And obviously, not taking action or taking action the wrong way will not lead to good results. So I would just encourage you, if you're going to be here, be here. Teresa, we're getting zen on people now. If they're going to be here, be here. That's what
right.
we're doing. That's what we're doing.
That's right.
Okay. And then, as always, stick around. There's always the endurance prize. The endurance prize is stick around until the end of this webinar, and there's going to be some pretty special, cool gifts that I'm going to share with you. Now, the format of our training today is really about a sneak peek behind the scenes of what our most successful clients in our mentoring program are doing differently than 98% of other speaking-driven professionals, coaches, trainers, consultants, authors, etc. So we're going to kind of give you a little behind-the-curtains look at where their business was, what they're doing differently, how they made some pivots and some changes and some upgrades. both with their mindset and skill set and tool set. We're going to get into some scripting. We're going to get into some strategy. We're going to get into some prospecting and some sales conversations. All of this is coming up. But just so you're aware, this isn't going to be showcasing how brilliant I am or how brilliant Teresa is. Although I guess we could do a webinar just about that. Wouldn't that be fascinating? Man, people would love
I think
that
it would be
webinar.
most fascinating to us, David.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's only fascinating to us because nobody else cares. But what might
That's
be
right.
fascinating to you guys right here is some of these brilliant pivots, maybe only 5, 10, 15% pivots on what our clients are doing and how that unlocked the floodgates to some pretty exciting success that you'll hear about and see. So let's talk about some problems. And again, Teresa and I talked to a lot of speaking-driven entrepreneurs, and I would say these are the top 3 problems that we see all the time. I'm going to ask you which one is most relevant for you. Number 1 is no value prop, meaning the message is all about you, right? And I just said, no one cares about you. In fact, it's not about you. It's about your impact and the results and the outcomes that you create for your clients and audiences, which I'm sure are there, but you're not talking about them enough. So what that means is you come across with same-o, lame-o language. There's no articulation, no distinction, nothing that makes you stand out from the pack as especially cooler, faster, smarter, better than any alternative or any competing resource or competing speaker. You come across as a generalist, not as a specialist, and a lot of your marketing, because of those problems, is based on guessing, hoping, and winging it. All right, so that's one set of problems right there. Is all caused by no clear value prop, no sharp tip of the arrow on your speaking-driven business. Second one, even if you have the sharp tip of the arrow on your speaking-driven business, no target, no specific target. Everyone, everywhere, anytime messaging. Your offerings are all over the map. No depth of expertise is obvious on your website, in your speaker one sheet, in your video, and any of your assets. The perception, of course, that you put into the marketplace then is that of a dabbler. And that's a very low confidence approach, meaning that when a buyer comes across that, they have a low degree of confidence that you can really help them or their audience or their team or their company. They have a low degree of confidence that you're the real deal, and they have a low degree of confidence that you're worth any kind of premium fee. So it brings up all kinds of fear, uncertainty, and doubt in the buyer's mind. And Teresa, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Being not of value and not relevant and no depth of expertise, that's kind of a bad thing. It's kind of counterintuitive to being booked.
I'm just checking, because people are going, yes, this is my business. I must be doing it right because David and Teresa are talking about it. I must be doing it right. No, gang. If this looks like you, you're doing it wrong. How do I know? Welcome to the first 3 years of my business. When I started out, this was totally me. I was the classic anytime, anywhere, any fee, any topic speaker, and I struggled for years. It was a disaster. So, third big one, no sales process. Meaning that every sale comes to you by accident, comes out of the blue, it's random. The whole mindset's about, well, you never know. I'm going to go down to the chamber, do a program. I'm going to go down to the pizza shop, do a program. Why? You never know who's in the pizza shop. Random tactics lead to random results. You're really relying on getting lucky. Like I said, every sale comes in differently. It is a completely reactive standby approach. It's like you're on the bench, right? Imagine a big football game. Sorry, Vikings. Yay, Eagles. Whatever. Imagine you're in a football game. Yeah, I know. That's bad because Teresa's in Minnesota. I'm here in Philly. What can you do? We still love each other, though. Just so everyone's clear, football rivalries aside, we still love each other. There's still peace on earth. Right. Still peace on earth. So imagine sitting on the sidelines. You're on the bench, and then you're wondering, how come I'm not scoring points? I'm on the bench. I'm not even on the field. I'm on the bench. Where are my touchdowns? Where are my touchdowns? Dude, get in the game. Get in the game. Get on the field. Start running some plays, and you will start to score clients. You will start to score checks. But no sales process. You're not in the game, and you're sitting on the sidelines. So, which one of these three? Pop this in the question box. I'm really curious. And we're to kind of do a quick audit here of the group. I know we have a high-performing group here. Let me give you the choices again while you're typing this in. Number 1 was no value prop. If that's your main problem, type it in. We'll help you kind of figure that out today. Number 2, no target market. You're the anytime, anywhere speaker that I was. Or number 3, no sales process. Way more reactive, not enough proactive. Which one of those 3? Type in 1 or 2 or 3. Type in no value prop if it's no value prop. Type in no target market. That's your biggest problem. Type in no sales process if you feel that is your biggest problem. Which one is yours? I'll tell you, at various points in my career, like first 5 or 6 years, I graduated from one problem to the next, and then from the second problem to the third. And until you have all 3 of these firing on all cylinders, you're not going to be generating the revenue that you need, and you're not going to be having the impact that you want. Teresa, what are people saying about this one?
We've got a lot of 3s today. Bobby says a 3. Marilyn's a 3, which is yeah, 3. I'm sitting here thinking, what was number 3? We have no process, no sales process, no sales process. Number 2, Dawn says 2. Sporty says number 3. We've got a tie for 2 and 3. No sales process. Wow, no sales process seems to be the winner today, David.
All right. Well, we're launching a new sales process program, guys. Welcome to it. You're all signed up. Here we go.
Amazing how we found that need.
Hey, give people what they want, right? Give people what they want. No point fooling around here. All right. So let's talk about, this is a classic case, right? Mike Thompson, of having no business model, no sales process. It was total catch as catch can. Mike is a very successful education speaker. The 2 major pivots that Mike did, number 1, get out of education and swing more towards corporate. This guy was a fantastic smart guy, still a fantastic smart guy, had written a dozen books, spoken to over 2.5 million people, but was not generating the revenue that he knew that he wanted. And he was also in that success trap of the gig to gig to gig hamster wheel. In Mike's words, he was hunting wabbits. It was gig after gig after gig, always looking for the next gig. You never know where it's coming from, right? So no sales process. Totally reactive, not proactive. We turned him on to swing into corporate, but don't go after onesies. Go after sponsored speaking opportunities. We're going to come back to another example of another great speaker who used sponsorship to up-level his business, but let's catch up with where Mike ended up. Mike says, one sponsor is talking to me about a $50,000 program. Another one just signed up at $75,000 a year for 3 years. And that was a signed deal while he was in our program for $225,000. I can't say enough about David personally, and his mentoring program made all the difference. I've stopped hunting wabbits, and I'm finally building a real business around my speaking. So, laser, not shotgun, right? Knowing where the prospects are, knowing what to say and send at every step of the process, and opening doors to these much bigger deals in a sponsored speaking arena than going after the next gig and the next gig and the next gig and the next gig, which just got exhausting. I mean, Mike was good at it, but it was still exhausting. And now he's doing things like he's selling his video series. He's got a 6-figure deal in the works with, it's actually a gym. They've got 11 gyms and fitness training facilities with about 1,000 members each. And it's 11,000 members. And they're licensing some of his leadership videos, some of his mindset videos at $10 a month per member. I'll let you do the math on that. 11,000 members, $10 per month, not per year, $10 per month per member. Now, you don't need a lot of those deals to have a very nice multiple 6-figure or 7-figure business. You start thinking differently about your strategy, and you can make the same kind of pivot. Mike is still teaching and preaching what he's always taught and what his expertise has always been. He's now just recontextualized it to make it more valuable and a more investable opportunity to reach way, way more people. So big success story. Our first module, by the way, in our mentoring program is called Smart Start. That's where you get to make these decisions about defining and deciding on your business model, your speaking model, creating the revenue roadmap where you can start to brainstorm, where we can help you put our heads together with you on how you can make similar pivots and then laser focus your messaging and your value. So super important. When you're thinking about going down this path, first question you want to ask is, what's the empire look like? What's your business model, speaking model, revenue model? You saw Mike made a few changes and that had a dramatic impact. Speaking specifically, what kind of work do you want? What kind of length? What kind of format? What kind of audience? Are you a keynoter? Are you workshop? Are you training? Are you 3-day boot camps? Are you 6-month leadership development, 12-month hybrid online, offline coaching programs? It is rare that people end up in a business model that they really truly want by accident. It always is some degree of planning and thinking and strategizing. You don't want to be a Chinese menu. When you're doing anything, anytime, any way, any format, you're like a Chinese menu, and the problem is that everything is on the menu, but nothing is particularly good. I would encourage, and again, this is what a buyer is going to say. We're going to do an age check on our audience right now, Teresa. What is Arnold saying on this slide? What's his signature tagline for little Arnold here? What is he saying when, if he's a meeting planner, he's a conference producer, you just show him a big Chinese menu of all the crazy crap that you can do? What's he saying? Type it in the question box. What is he saying? What you talking about, Willis? What you talking about, Willis? I knew we had an
We're in good
group
company,
in here.
David.
I knew we didn't have a lot of millennials in here, so I could get away with this.
I love all the different ways people are spelling chew.
What you talking about, Willis? So you don't want to come across the buyer's desk like that. You want to come across the buyer's desk like this. What's that one signature special item? What's the house specialty? When people come in and they buy from Niels, they buy from Nancy, they buy from Brett, they buy from Joe, they buy from Susan, what is circled on your menu? Everything is not a good answer. Something is a good answer, right? Something special, something unique. Now, revenue model. Let's move on to revenue model. Most financially successful speakers use at least 2 or 3. Very few use just one. And again, we can help you figure this out. If you want to ramp up one, turn down another. You want to turn down what you're doing and ramp up a brand new one. You want to just readjust and rebalance. Maybe you're doing 70% training and 30% keynote. You'd like to flip it to 70% keynote, 30% training, or add some coaching or add an online component to what you do. We help our clients figure this out every single day. But you want to use at least 2 or 3. Speaking, training, coaching, consulting, licensing, sponsorship. I said we're going to come back to towards the end, which is what we'll do. But look at these dollars. $45, $55, $7,500. A lot of our speakers that we're working with now are in the $10,000, $15,000, $18,000 per program range, and they're innovating their revenue model. They're adding new components. They're taking off some of the lower, cheaper things that were not serving them or not serving their audience. So same price range with training, coaching, anywhere from $6,000 to $12,000. For individual coaching, obviously group coaching in a corporate environment with executives and VPs can be way, way more than that. Consulting, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month consulting programs that you can offer your clients. Licensing, almost always a 6-figure deal. Rarely starts below 50K, often 100K, 200K, 500K. Sponsorship deals, again, almost always close to 6 figures. You saw Mike Thompson. He had one on the line for $75,000 a year, 3-year deal, $225,000 in the door, even before the active part of our mentoring was over. So let's look at a case study. This is Steve Weber. He is out in Montana, and as you can see, he's a Forrest Gump tribute. We don't call him impersonator. He's a Forrest Gump tribute performer. And he was getting paid about $200 or $300 a day to sit in front of Bubba Gump shrimp restaurants, because it was a sponsorship deal and he was in front of a different restaurant every day, and big grand openings, and they would trot him out to the conventions and all this other stuff. And Steve said, okay, I'm tired of being a novelty act. I want to keep doing what I'm doing, but I want to majorly upgrade the revenue. I want to majorly get out of this $300 a day kind of low fee and no fee trap that I've built for myself. So he started doing main stage keynote programs and repositioning himself as a main stage keynote speaker. 3 different modes that we decided would be best for him: keynote speaker, conference host like an MC, and a corporate messenger, where that's a sponsored speaking opportunity to deliver a certain kind of message to a certain kind of set of stakeholders. So all 3 of those were brand new for him. Here's the new fee schedule. Right? 55, 62, 12,500 international. You can see down here, he's doing 1-day, 2-day, and 3-day events. Well, good news, gang. Steve Weber no longer in the $300 a day business. No longer stuck in that low fee, no fee hell. And he's now got a very healthy business doing what he was already doing, but reframing it, repackaging it, remessaging it, and repricing it. And here's what he had to say. During our work, we mapped out my 3-year plan designed to produce $1.4 million in revenue. David helped me implement and accelerate both my planning and my doing. Working with David has helped me leverage my business into some serious revenue. And that's Steve Weber, and his website is speakinggump.com. So again, this is not about throw the baby out with the bathwater. It's how can we take some raw material, what you're already doing, what you're already working on, reframing, remessaging, recontextualizing it so it's much higher value, much higher impact, and much higher revenue coming into your bank account. That's what Teresa and I love to do. For us, it's like, it's like doing a crossword puzzle, right? People love crossword puzzles and kind of figure out, how do all the pieces fit together. All the squares are there, guys. In your business, I almost always I have a high degree of confidence that you have all the puzzle pieces. You have all the pieces of the crossword puzzle. They're just not in the right order. They're not in the right syntax, and some of the words are scrambled up. So if you want our help in unlocking that crossword puzzle and how to maybe map out a 3-year, $1.4 million plan for you, where you're making $20,000 or $30,000 or $40,000 a month instead of what you might be doing now, we're here to help. We're here to brainstorm. We'll talk about that here in a few minutes. All right. So second challenge, second part of what we work on with our clients is positioning, naming, and branding. Specifically naming your programs, your speeches, your services so that they get it, they need it, and they want it. How to reposition yourself from a speaker to a problem solver, and then how to package your service menu to maximize your MMA, which is money-making activity. So the first piece of this is you have to label yourself. So many people are afraid of declaring who they are and what problems that they solve. Sales, leadership, IT security. Think of it as the CNN test. The CNN test is they put the bar at the bottom of the screen, they put your name, and you get 3 or 4 words, right? Leadership expert, sales expert, team building coach, whatever it is. You don't get team building and leadership and customer service and sales and basket weaving and chair recaning and boat sales. You don't get all of those. You get 2 or 3 words to label your expertise. Buyers buy labels, guys. Every meeting planner, every conference producer, every association executive is looking to solve a specific problem. You got to put yourself in a box because they buy the box. They don't buy some generic, weird, quirky, all over the map mess. So your target market, who we're putting this package in front of, 4 criteria to get yourself a really strong target market. Number 1, you have to have access to them. You have to know where they are, know where they live, online, offline, what events they go to, what publications they read, and so forth. You have to have a relevant solution. They have to want to solve the problem, and it has to be an expensive problem to have. It has to have value in solving the problem. Now, everyone here has valuable solutions, but you have not yet articulated how. You have not yet mapped out, and you have not yet directly connected what you do to the economic, professional, financial, and personal impact that it means to that decision maker who owns the problem that you solve. So, another thing with positioning and naming and titling, what image are you conveying in the first 2 seconds? I will tell you 2 things that I absolutely hate. It's a personal pet peeve of mine. And yes, people have changed their company name based on this slide. I hate your name and associates. If I say, oh, it's David Newman and Associates, that means I gave this no thought whatsoever, and I'm lazy. The other one that I hate is DJN Consulting. So your name and associates, don't go there. Your initials and consulting, don't go there either. That's just silly. That's just lazy. You are missing an opportunity to convey value with the most important market-facing name, market-facing brand that you have. So, also some considerations for this as you're cogitating on the positioning and naming. What's the level of audience that's associated with your name and with your program titles? But are you coming across just as another same-o, lame-o speaker? What is your buyer's gut response when they see your website domain, when they see your email address, when they see your materials? Do they get it? Do they need it? Do they want it? Or does it look like just a nice to have, or here's another speaker, here's another consultant? The other thing to think about is alignment. Can you use that same market-facing brand for your books, for your products? Could it be a column in your industry's newsletter? Could it be a host in a suite of services that you offer? So, for example, let's go down another case study. Tom Davidson. Super smart guy, good client and friend, successful speaker. His website was Davidson Leadership. And he was doing okay, but he really had this deep background and deep expertise in the forestry and natural resources industry. So he totally rebranded to be much more about the target market and less about him. His new company name is Leadership Nature. Leadership Nature, everything connects with this because great leaders don't grow on trees, right? Because he's got leadership development. Look at the headline here, leadership development for natural resource professionals. So right away, in 7 words or less, what problem do I solve and what people do I serve? Leadership for natural resource professionals. Crystal clear. It passes the 2-second test. Do I know who this guy is? Do I know what people he serves within 2 seconds of landing on the website? Yes. But it gets even better because he's then taken the naming and branding and titling into everything else that he does. He has a customized DISC assessment. DISC assessment's one of these behavior assessment tools, and he's rebranded it the Range Finder. So the Range Finder is a term that's used in the forestry industry. It's the leadership DISC profile for, guess who, natural resource professionals. His blog is called Spotfires, the blog that puts out leadership problems for, guess who, natural resource professionals. Here's his business cards and his postcards. Yes, my friends, made out of real wood. Made because he's a forester and he serves the forestry industry, the paper mills, the pulp, the whole industry, right? His materials are made out of wood. He's got different shades and different kinds of trees. There's pine, there's oak. Some of these I think are cherry. The one in the upper left there, the dark kind of reddish one is cherry. Different kinds of wood. He hands these out. People are blown away. And foresters go, oh, this is cherry. Oh, this looks like oak. Oh, this looks like pine. And he says, actually, it's this kind of knotty pine that's only found down in Virginia. And he gets geeky on the tree stuff. he goes geeky on the trees. But you see what I'm saying about the naming, the branding? It's now in Tom's DNA. It's now in Tom's DNA. And he's got testimonials from people like the chief executive officer of the 800-pound gorilla association in his market, which is the Society of American Foresters. He has another testimonial from the deputy chief of the United States Forest Service. So when people are wondering, well, is this guy the real deal? Is this guy the go-to guy in our industry? The answer is yes, 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 times 10. So Tom was so successful at this, he actually submitted an article which was published in the National Speakers Association Speaker Magazine. It says, find your natural niche, moving from little-known generalist to well-known expert. And he maps out this whole journey. I had the privilege of working with him, as you can see, and I wrote a sidebar column, a third-person perspective. David Newman, a marketing expert who works with speakers, authors, and solo professionals, offers the following takeaways from his work with Tom Davidson. So we kind of co-wrote this. He wrote the majority of it, and I kind of wrote the sidebar about some strategies. Go with what you know. Diversify while still specializing. Brand your mojo and focus on the entire ecosystem around that industry that you've chosen to serve. So huge, huge success story. Benchmark question for you guys. Now that you've seen someone that's doing it right, doing it extremely well, and doing it extremely right, scale of 1 to 10, be brutally honest. How effective is your current naming and branding? 1 is not effective at all, terrible train wreck, generic, same-o, lame-o, oh my God, I gotta fix this afternoon. And 10 is, I'm as good as Tom Davidson, or I'm better. How effective are you? 1 is terrible, David, Teresa, gotta fix this ASAP. I'm not hitting it the right way at all. 5 is like, meh, in the middle, 6, 7, 8, on your way to 10. 10 is as good as Tom Davidson, what I just showed you, or better. Teresa, what's the majority of people saying here in their quick self-diagnosis?
I've got a lot of 6s, a couple of 1s and 2s. Ouch, that sounds like some work to be done. We've got some 5s and 6s. I'm just starting out, so I'm brand new. So this is probably really great information for you, Melissa. You'll get a great start out of the gate. We've got some more 6s. Mary says 6. Jerry says 7.
Yeah.
I don't see any 8. 6 or 8 is the highest, but no 9s or 10s, David.
All right. Let's get the 3s, 4s, and 5s up to 6, 7, 8, and let's get our 6, 7, 8s up to 10 or 11. 11. I like 11. Teresa, do you like 11?
Was 11 a choice?
Of course it wasn't a choice, but we only work with big thinkers. We only work with big thinkers and big action takers. That's all we work with.
Absolutely.
So here's what Tom said on the other end. Applying David's marketing principles and sales practices, and again, we talked about sales being a problem for a lot of folks, so we're going to get to that a little bit later here today, especially around laser focusing on serving my niche market, resulted in doubling my business in year 1 and then doubling it again in year 2. Now, I want to say something to Melissa, because you mentioned Melissa said she's just starting out. Melissa, save yourself a ton of time and don't do it wrong. Like we all did it wrong. I did it wrong. Teresa did it wrong when she was starting out. Man, I'm just starting out, imagine if you could do it right the first time. Imagine all the time, heartache, headache, money you would save if you just did it right the first time and didn't have to go through all the struggle and the rework and the craziness. So we should probably talk to get you on the right foot and accelerate your path to success. All right, third thing, goals, targets, focus. How to get to the right prospects fast, how to do a competitive scan, how to use competing speakers to your advantage, and how to establish expert status in less than 90 days. This is another key part. Once you've got your internal house in order, it's time to look out at the marketplace. Where are my prospects? Who else is serving them? How else can I show up? Better, faster, smarter, cooler. In other words, how can I zig where they zag? How can I add some distinction to what I'm doing? Hit my goals, reach my targets, focus on my people. Here's the truth bomb, my friends. Everyone is not a target market. Make a bumper sticker, make a t-shirt. Teresa, we should get those little rubber bracelets like the rubber cause bracelets that say Everyone is not a target market. Everyone is not
Might
a
be a
target market.
t-shirt too, David.
What's that?
Might be a t-shirt.
It might be a t-shirt. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. It might be a t-shirt. All right, step one. Decide. People say, well, I don't know who they are. No one knows who they are. You know why? You get to pick. So have you decided as an adult person, like, well, Mom, can you give me my target market? Dad, is my target market ready? No, you're not children. You're adult human beings. Who do you want to work with? Who do you want to serve? Who do you want to spend time in front of? Have you decided who you want to target and serve? Two powerful words, my friends. Decide and define. As adult business owners and as CEOs of our speaking-driven business, it's totally up to you to decide and define what you want. And you attract what you define. If you define nothing, then nothing's going to magically appear on its own. So imagine if we're bird watching and some random birds land on a fence and you really love red birds. And he's like, oh my gosh, look at this, a yellow bird. Well, that's not my guy. Oh, there's a red bird. I got lucky. A red bird landed on my fence. Yay me. And then we got this kind of dirty brown bird. We got the black and yellow bird. We got the blue birds. Like, oh, well, I guess I'll talk to the red bird because the red bird is my guy. Instead of waiting around to see who lands on your fence, I want you to go and find this tree. I want you to go and find this tree. There are trees like this in your world. If you say, I am dealing with technology companies, we go to technology companies. The technology company is the tree. It is filled with technology company executives. If you say, I want to do the associations in the construction and the engineering industry, you go to the construction and engineering tree. It is full of construction and engineering conferences, associations, groups, executives, and decision makers. But you're not going out past your backyard. And again, your backyard looks like this. I want you to get out of your backyard, proactively find the tree that is filled with your birds. And by the way, if red birds aren't your thing, don't worry, because there's also bluebirds. There's green birds, there's brown birds, but you got to go where a preponderance of them are gathering. Don't wait to see who lands on your fence. Please, guys, do not wait to see who lands on your fence. That's the recipe for slow, hard, painful, financially struggling speaking businesses. And you don't want that. You're the kind of person who wants to go and make it happen. You're not the kind of person that's sitting by the phone waiting for it to magically happen on its own, because it's never going to magically happen on its own. So 3 critical questions when you're targeting in on your birds, right? Who suffers from it more greatly, the problem that you solve? Who needs what you do more desperately? And thus, who will value it more highly? Again, think about this in terms of, are you a vitamin or are you an aspirin? A vitamin's a nice to have. It's like, yeah, maybe we can solve this here, there, now, later, next year, never, not a big deal. Nice to have. As opposed to, oh my gosh, I just hit my finger with a hammer. It really, really hurts. Can someone get me some pain reliever? Yes, you're the pain reliever, guys. You are all the doctor. You all have the antidote. You all have the medicine. You all have the cure. But you're not positioning it like that. You're positioning it as a nice to have. I don't want to be impolite. I don't want to be rude. I don't want to be a pest. I don't want to, oh my God, are you kidding? In times of terrible disease and plague and all these horrible diseases, people dying in the street, are the services of a doctor more in demand or less? If you find the people who suffer from it more greatly, who will need it more desperately, and who will value it more highly, that's the analogy. Is that you're the doctor, they're incredibly sick, you've got the antidote, you've got the cure, and they cannot wait to talk to you. They cannot wait to buy from you. They cannot wait to get healthy and well and get, regain and reclaim their health and stop suffering with this horrible, terrible disease. Leadership disease, sales disease, team building disease, career disease, finance disease, parenting disease, personal accountability disease. Whatever disease you solve, There are people who suffer from it more greatly, who need it more desperately, and who will value it more highly. And it's your professional responsibility to find them, connect with them, and build a relationship with them. So how do you find out? Research. What do they read? Where do they gather? What are they already talking about? Who else is in their ecosystem? This is super important because, again, you cannot hit a target that you cannot see. You just can't. You can't hit a target that you cannot see. You need to become a student of the game. You really do. If you want to get into banking, you need to research banking magazines, banking. This is Google. This is Google searches, by the way. Very easy to do. You turn up a wealth of information that gives you the marketing intelligence and the prospecting intelligence that you need. Banking magazines, banking conference, banking industry news, banking industry headlines. You want to Google search banking speaker, banking expert, banking consultant. Figure out who else is in the ecosystem. Do your competitive scan. Figure out where are they zigging where you can zag. What are your indisputable points of proof that you bring to the table that they don't, that they can't, or that they're afraid to? Because they're so concerned about being liked and being nice and being friendly, they're not going to punch through the noise by speaking the truth about what's missing, funky, broken, and sad in that industry that every executive and every decision maker will immediately resonate with. They go, oh my God, this gal, this woman, this guy, they're punching through the noise. They're speaking the truth. They've read my mind. We need to get them in here. We need to hire them because they understand what's missing, funky, broken, and sad. If you understand what's missing, funky, broken, and sad, the perception immediately is that you can fix it. And that's when people get hired. Not because they're professional speakers, but because they're professional problem solvers. And you can have an entire variety of investable opportunities that bring to bear on that problem. So when you Google banking magazines, you will find a wealth of publications: private banking, bank advisor, local, regional, national, international, association magazines like ABA Banking Journal, state magazines from Texas Banking, from the Texas Bankers Association. Do you think these guys have conferences? They do. Do you think these folks hire outside speakers for $5,000 and $10,000 and $15,000? They do. Do you think reading these publications might give you a little bit of intelligent prospecting to reach out to that state or that national association and have a significant conversation with them about how you can help move the needle on the results that they say they want to create? Yes, 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 and yes. But you're not doing the work. This is simple. This is any professional salesperson would shake their head in disbelief at how little research and how little groundwork speakers are willing to do, but you think you're worth a $5,000 or a $10,000 or a $15,000 fee just by showing up on their transom. Totally uneducated, totally uninformed, totally not relevant, totally not tapped in to what they want to do and what they want to achieve. I'm sorry, guys. Are you crazy? Are you really crazy? It's like, oh, I got a great speech. I got a great speech. Teresa, how many of our clients get hired because, quote unquote, they have a great speech?
Very few.
Very few.
Very, very few.
Very, very few. So again, we're not here to yell at you guys or beat you up. We want to talk to you about this. We want to connect with you so you stop doing the stupid, crazy stuff and you start doing the stuff that works. And we'll talk about how to do that in a second. Anyway, here's the example from banking. When I type in banking conference, the number one hit comes up American Banker Magazine events page. Boom, there I am. I got right now this afternoon, these events are coming up in April and May and June. And there's a whole list that's way longer than I could do the screenshot here. I've got 12 events just from this website that I could start to open a conversation with. I could start to research. I could figure out who are their past speakers. I could download last year's program brochure. This is called intelligent prospecting, not cold calling like an idiot, not sitting by the phone waiting for the phone to ring, but do a little intelligent prospecting. So for you guys that said sales process, sales process, sales process early on, I am walking you through the early part of the sales process, which is understand what problem you're solving, understand who you're connecting to, understand the ecosystem in which those people live, in this case, bankers, and start to build relationships with these people on how you can help them and their members. So then you're going to find the American Bankers Association. That's another link. Look here, I just landed on the conference page. There's a whole bunch of conferences. Annual convention, CEO Leadership Lab, Bank Insurance Sales Conference, Bank Marketing Conference, CFO Exchange. Do you think they hire outside speakers? Yes, they do. But, you're not even looking. You're not even looking. So, there's no leads. There's no leads, Teresa. Can't find any leads. Can't find any prospects. Have you looked? No, I haven't looked. Okay. Well, guess what? You look, you find. You don't look, you don't find. Then there's a whole tab that says training and events. Find out what else they're doing. Find out what are they doing with webinars? What are they doing on their blog with videos? What articles are they accepting from outside experts? Right? New York Bankers Association, I even found an old page. The old page says, okay, in 2014, they did a Women in Banking conference. Well, okay, I'm going to click on major meetings and conferences. I'm going to click on publications, maybe find some places I can put articles. That's going to lead me to my 2018 New York Bankers Association list. Event. Let me show you the gold here. Look down here. Can't find what you're looking for. There's Elisa and there's Carrie. Elisa's a senior vice president. Carrie is the director of meetings and member relations. They're giving you the phone numbers and they're giving you the emails. Teresa, it's now your job to keep me calm, because this is the point at which I would start screaming and jumping up and down in my chair, shaking people by the collar and saying, what the hell is wrong with you that you think you can't find leads? You think you can't find prospects? You think that these people don't want to talk to you? Do you think that Elisa and Carrie would publish their direct dial phone numbers and their email addresses if they did not want to hear from you? Do you think, oh no, I can't call them. I can't bother them. I can't email them. I can't find them on LinkedIn. Surprise, you can. And you should, but you're not. Maybe after this, though, you will. I don't know. Maybe after this, you will. So this is intelligent prospecting. Oh, you guys are killing me. You are killing me here, Smalls. You're killing me. Case study number. I just love that quote. Any opportunity I have to say you're killing me, Smalls, I will take it. Case study number 3. Scott McClymon's CEO of Velocity. Scott happened to be in the banking and credit union space. His tagline is think faster, lead better, win bigger. It says CEO of Velocity is a consulting and coaching firm helping leaders of financial institutions acquire ideal customers and build profitable relationships. So he combined his background in business intelligence, marketing strategy, and corporate leadership. So again, it's an overlay strategy. That's his distinction. He says, listen, here's my indisputable points of proof. Why hire Scott? When you want to define and attract your ideal customers, when you want to develop leaders and employees that are focused on those customers, and when you want to empower them with systems and knowledge to create and deliver great customer value. Now, cover story of the 800-pound gorilla publication called Credit Union Business Magazine. Scott is literally on the cover. Part of his company name, not the whole company name, Velocity Leadership is what they're putting in here. I'm going to show you the inside of this magazine. Remember, his company name is called CEO Velocity. Inside is a column also called CEO Velocity. So Tom Davidson, who you saw, could have a column called the Leadership Nature column in the forestry magazines, right? I could have a column in the Business Journal or that goes out to small business owners or experts that's the Do It Marketing column, because the brand could follow the book, the seminar, the speech, the training, the personal development program, the article series, the video series, the online course. It all connects. And in Scott McClymon's world, that is CEO Velocity. So now you go to his website, there are 4 pages. This scrolls down 4 screens worth of all the articles, all the places that he's been published, all of the CEO Velocity content that is now being placed in the industry publications: Banking New England, Credit Union Business Magazine, Credit Union Management, Credit Union Business, over and over and over again. These are online and offline publications where Scott is a dominant factor. Scott's a dominant factor because we made him into a dominant factor. Now, I want you to think about what we just shared. Name one way, based on Scott, based on Tom, based on everything that we've seen so far. Name one way that you will tighten your focus, your targets, and your goals. How will you stop being that generalist and start being the laser-focused expert? Well-branded, well-packaged, everything in alignment, so that you move away from generalist and you move into laser-focused expert specialist. Name one way. Just type it in the question box. Don't write a novel in there. Just a couple of short words, key phrases. How are you going to tighten up your game after what you saw today? So, and we're halfway done. We're not even quite halfway done. But name one way that you'll tighten your focus, targets, and goals. What are you going to do differently? What will you start doing? What will you stop doing? How will you start to tighten in your marketing, your language, your focus, your reach, your laser, not shotgun approach to your marketplace? What decisions will you make about intelligent prospecting going forward that you've been waiting for the phone to ring, you've been waiting in passive mode, not active mode? Teresa, are people making any decisions?
They are. They're making, that's the first hurdle, is just making a decision. And we got Sporty, who says he's going to update his company name. He was one with an associate's name. Marilyn says a systemic change expert. Interesting. Mike says publish more. Tina says define my expertise. We've got strategic prospecting. Study your industry, looking for problems to solve. Great idea, James. Carly says I'll focus on niche and drill down deeper. Perfect. Barbara says focus on those with the biggest pain who I know I can help. There you go.
Oh, that's the home run.
Think about what expensive problem my content solves. Fantastic.
Yep. Awesome. So let's catch up with Scott. Scott says, very excited about the results. In the pipeline are 3 paid speaking engagements at high-profile leadership conferences, a large system project with the top 10 U.S. bank, credit union CEO mastermind groups that he started, a year-long CEO leadership intensive with the largest state-based credit union trade association in the country. So, do you think that worked? I think that worked. And again, it comes from deciding and defining. It comes from figuring out the ecosystem and embedding yourself in that industry as the go-to authority, and not just as another guy, another peddler, another speaker, another guy coming in to pitch a program. Scott's now a professional problem solver and a professional resource for the credit union industry. Most of the credit union CEOs in the country, and there's about 5,000 of them, by the way, they will recognize his name because they read any of those big major industry publications, and he's got a monthly column in each and every one. So he owns that mountaintop of credit union leadership, credit union marketing, credit union growth. Now, I know that we got a lot more content coming up. I know some people are already thinking to themselves, and I've made this offer. I said, hey, let's talk. We should put our heads together. If you're committed and you already know that you would like our help in figuring out some clarity in your speaking-driven business, go to doitmarketing.com/apply. I just want to put that station break in here. It's going to get you on my calendar or Teresa's calendar. Just schedule it. There's going to be a prep form and a questionnaire that pops up after that. Fill that out later. You do not need to leave the webinar now. In fact, don't leave the webinar now. We want you to book the call if you're serious, if you're committed about figuring this out, how this might play out in your business. We will give you the clarity. We will help you not only what we've talked about, but we're about to talk about here, which is problems 4, 5, and 6, and 7. But we know that some people have to run at the top of the hour. We know that some people only allocated a certain time to be with us. So if you're committed and you already know that you want that speaker strategy breakthrough session where we're going to dig into your business and what you're doing and what's working and what's not working and some ways that you can fix it, go to doitmarketing.com/apply. doitmarketing.com/apply. That's what's going to get you onto our calendar so we can have a one-on-one on how we can fix this for you. All right, let's move on. Number 4 is strategic prospecting. Create your high probability target list, strategies that make you emotionally appealing and a logical speaker to hire, and then how to use live ammo client feedback. So here's a key question for everyone to ask themselves. Who has your next prospect already on their client list? This is called your natural market, right? This is where you're going to seek out referrals, seek out introductions, seek out some partnerships perhaps. But strategic prospecting, don't feel you have to start with a blank slate. There's going to be natural partnerships and natural referral relationships that you need to develop that could easily put the next 2 or 3 $7,500 gigs on your calendar, but you're not thinking with abundance. You're thinking, I have to do this alone. I'm a lone wolf. I'm going to go get them. I'm going to figure it out. And there's probably people in your circle, other speakers, other consultants, other trainers, other coaches that could massively help you. And equally, of course, you could massively help them. So ask yourself this question. Who has your next prospect on their client list? And then do a competitive scan. Who else is out there serving your market? What are they saying? What are they doing? What are they not doing? And you really have to become a student of the game. I get frustrated. I get upset when people come in and they expect the silver bullet or the magic beans and they have no idea how the association meetings industry works. They have no idea how the corporate meetings industry works. They have no idea how speaker selection works with most decision makers. They have no idea what's going to be an effective approach and an effective prospecting door opener and what's going to be a completely ineffective delete the voicemail, delete the email, block, right? Unfriend, unlink, this guy's an idiot, this woman's a moron, I'm never speaking to her again because she sent me a 17-paragraph email that had 12 links to her YouTube videos and the entire email was about me. And again, it's not about you guys. It's not about you. I hate to tell you. No one cares about you. It's about value for their members, their audience, their conference, their team, their company, their goals. Start refocusing all your sales conversations on that, and you will get a lot more checks in the door. A lot more. You also need to position yourself with some obvious choice documents. The first one that we like people to create is top 7 reasons to hire you. So top 7 reasons to hire Melissa, top 7 reasons to hire John, top 7 reasons to hire Susan and Ben and Frank. Expertise, currency, relevance, easy to work with, interaction, experience, and authenticity. These are the actual 7 that the consistent themes that meeting planners are always looking for. They want expertise, not fluff. They want currency, meaning it's current, up to the minute, torn from the headlines. Relevant, meaning tailored, customized, personalized, not a cookie cutter. They want you to be easy to work with, not a prima donna. Make their job easier. Don't make their job harder. Interactive. The era of the one-way talking head keynote data dump is over. It's now much more interaction, much more engagement. Experience. What have you done? What have you lived through? What are the battle scars that you bring to the platform that really says, I know what I'm talking about because I lived it? I didn't just read a couple books on Amazon and then figure out I'm an overnight expert, but I really lived it. And I've got the battle scars to prove it. And then authenticity means show the warts, right? This needs to be totally authentic, totally transparent. Don't show up as someone who's figured this all out from day one. None of us has figured out our expertise all on day one, right? You hit a lot of dead ends. You hit a lot of brick walls. Tell people about the struggles and the brick walls and the observations and the challenges that you've had in figuring this out, simply so that they now have a high degree of confidence that you've already hit those brick walls so they don't have to. Obvious choice number two, obvious choice document number two is what we call our famous 4 arrows. And the 4 arrows are simply, they show where you fit into their world. And this is good for corporate and association and any conference and any company that you want to get into. And it's a 4 arrow structure. Arrow 1 and arrow 2 is what they're already doing. Arrow 3, notice, is a contrasting color, and that's where you put your program. And then arrow number 4 is the ultimate outcome that they want. So this is meant to avoid 2 things. Thing number 1 is them saying, we're already doing this. Thing number 2 is them saying, we don't need it, we don't get it, we don't want it. So when you build this document, it shows the client, it shows the prospect exactly how what you're offering them is the missing piece to what they're already doing. And it's a perfect supplement and complement to what they're already doing in-house. Because you never want to be seen as competition. You always want to be seen as the missing piece, as the extra, as the bridge, as the connector to an outcome that they already want. So let me show you how this plays out. Bryn Tillman came through our program. She's a social selling expert. She's also an overachiever. So instead of 4 arrows, she said, I'm doing 5 arrows. I said, okay, fine, do 5 arrows. Anyway, she said, David, every prospect that I meet in person, their finger starts to turn blue. And I had no idea what she meant. And what she meant was she takes a paper printout of her 5 arrows diagram. As she's talking, the VP of sales or the decision maker is stabbing with his or her finger the social branding and social selling blue arrow and saying things like, this is what we need. This is what's missing. This is exactly what we're after. We came up in a meeting. This is what we totally have to do. This has been the place where we're falling down. And she holds up the finger and the finger's blue because they've actually rubbed off the blue ink from the arrow and they're poking at this piece of paper saying, this is what we want. This is what we need. This is what's been missing for us. And she has made many, many hundreds of thousands of dollars with this 5 arrow diagram that simply shows where she fits into what they're already doing. So hugely valuable. Here's a question, right? The 4 arrows or 5 arrows, but I'm recommending 4. How much money have you lost with we don't need that or we're already doing that? If you had this one tool in your toolkit, and again, be brutally honest here, guys, we can't fix it if we don't know the truth. Have you lost money or how much money have you lost when you're coming across a good prospect that you know you can help? You just know it in your bones. But they say, yeah, we don't need that, Teresa. Yeah, we're good. We have that covered. Oh, you know what? No, we're already doing it. No, we already have a sales team. We don't need sales training. We already have marketing people here. We don't need David Newman's marketing program. I mean, it's ridiculous. Every sales trainer, right, they work with sales teams. They go, oh, no, we have a sales team. We don't need your sales training. Oh, we have a marketing team. We don't need your marketing training. We have leaders here. We don't need your leadership development. It's like crazy, but that's called rejection by ignorance. And I'm curious, how much money have you lost when you're not mapping out how you supplement and complement what they're already doing and how you're also telling them that this fits perfectly. And it's the accelerator and it's the amplifier to what they're already doing. Teresa, what kind of numbers are people throwing up?
Well, nothing yet. I think you're ahead of them there. We're not getting a lot of numbers. So there we go. Millions, Corian says. Dawn says millions with that exclamation.
I mean, even one client that could have been a $7,500 gig, $10,000 gig. Oh no, we don't need that. We don't need that. We're good. We're all good here. You're like, oh man, they totally missed the point. They totally didn't get it. Oh no, we're already doing some sales training. I said, yeah, but this isn't sales training. This is going to amplify and magnify the sales training that you're already doing. right? If you had that discussion and you had a second at bat for $7,500, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 coaching or consulting program, I would be surprised if people are putting in any kind of number less than 10 or 20,000. Some people way, 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 way more than that. Way more. So let's see what it meant for Bryn. David's program was life-changing in its impact. During our work, I saw a clear path to building a multi-million-dollar business. Even more important, I got into action right away and I got 2 new clients just doing my homework. With the clarity I got by going through this program, I will triple the size of my business this year. And she came in with a pretty good sized business, by the way. She was not kind of struggling along at 20 or 30 grand. She was hitting it, and she already saw the path to tripling it with some of these strategies and tactics and tools. So number 5 is tactical prospecting, developing client-centric distinction, some templates and tools, a little bit about money. Let's talk about the competitive scan. Let's talk about some deep dive prospecting. So let's say you're a leadership speaker, and I'm showing you here my buddy Steve Farber, who's a very successful leadership speaker. You're looking around and you're looking for trends. You're not going to pirate anyone's client list. You're not going to be weird or scammy, but you're going to look at a couple of competing speakers. And if I happen to see the American Healthcare Association on a couple of different speakers' websites, this is about pattern recognition, guys. Pattern recognition and research. I'm going to look for patterns because obviously something is working. You're going to find the association website, find the programs chair, find the education person, find the person in charge of their conferences or events. Can't find any of them, go right to the top. Go to the executive director. Find 50 state chapters. So here's what I found with American Healthcare Association. Again, I'm following the breadcrumb trail. Found them on Steve's website. Found them on a couple of other competing speakers if I were in the leadership space. I Google search American Healthcare Association. I look at membership. I find the states. And again, here's 50 prospects for me. In Alabama, I call Bill O'Connor. Arizona, I'm calling Kathleen. California, I'm calling James. Alaska, I'm calling up Dennis. Arkansas, it's Rachel. Colorado, it's Doug. I can click through on those hot links, go to the website, find their email address. I can click through on those blue web links. I can find them on LinkedIn. I now have, this is my intelligent prospecting strategy. Find the 50 state chapters. Then you want to find more than one association that serves that particular target market. Let's shift gears. Let's talk about engineering. If I Google engineering associations, I'm not only going to find engineering associations, I'm going to find lists of engineering associations, lists of different kinds of engineering associations. So here's engineering.com, directory of professional associations. This is what comes up. I now have clients and prospects in Pennsylvania, Colorado, Michigan, Illinois, Virginia, Oregon, DC, Tennessee, Missouri, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Ohio. Again, guys, don't make me jump out of my chair and slap you upside the head when you say, I don't know where the leads are. I don't know where the meetings are. I don't know where the associations and the conferences are. I don't know who pays speakers. Well, trust me, if you've done your competitive scan and these speakers are paid professional speakers, they don't work for free. Their clients are more often than not paying clients. You want to connect with paying clients. Boom, easy, done. Boom, easy, done. Now, to keep track of this, I recommend you use some kind of CRM program like Pipedrive. And you can get this. It's doitmarketing.com/Pipedrive. It is a free trial and a 2-week extension. So ordinarily, they give people a 30-day free trial. With that link, you're getting a 45-day free trial. And start to put targets on your radar. So start to put in the AICPA convention, the American Express Group, the IGA conference, the Garden State Sherman, New Jersey, the BMA Southeast in New Orleans, the IMC convention, the American Chamber of Commerce Executives in Santa Fe, New York State SHRM, ACCE Las Vegas. Start tracking your deals. Start tracking your deals. Now you have a pipeline. Now you have a sales process. Now you know who needs a callback or an email or a touch point. If you don't do this, you're not a professional salesperson. We like Pipedrive because it's super simple. You can use anything else you want. Salesforce, I think, might be too complicated. I know Teresa loves one-page CRM, but use some kind of tool. Heck, use an Excel spreadsheet. Use a Google spreadsheet. People that use nothing sell nothing. Let me repeat that. People that use nothing to track deals and track prospect outreach, if you use nothing, you sell nothing. There's no way you're going to keep this all in your head. There's no way that you're going to do a proactive sales process without some kind of tool like this. So, I'm going to ask you another dollar question. How much money would a laser-focused, high-value prospecting plan backed up with some kind of easy-to-use CRM system, how much do you think that would bring in? Given where you are with your fees, your market, how much money, let's say in the next 90 days, would a laser-focused, high-value prospecting plan bring in? Even if you just did a reasonable job, without being a rock star, without being, sales closer, crusher, monster closer person, 10,000, 25,000, 50,000. Again, next 90 days, guys. Just next 90 days is my question. People are going nuts in here. 100,000, 20,000, 10,000, lots of dollar signs, lots of exclamation points. Teresa, what else are people putting in?
We've got millions, and I love the big thinker. Remember, we said earlier we love big thinking. So millions might be a stretch for 90 days, though. So we've also got 50 to 100K, hundreds of thousands, 25,000, 14,000, 33,333.
Yeah, I love the specificity of that. Absolutely. All right, so winding into the home stretch, 6 and 7. 6 is all about sales. Sales mindset and sales skill set. And let me tell you a secret right now. It's 80% mindset. I could give you the skills. Teresa could give you the skills. We could give you every template, every tool, every script. If your sales mindset isn't right, no sales will happen. No sales will happen. So here's the mindset alert. You need to connect on a deep, visceral, personal level with the fact that you are offering value. You are hugely valuable. You are hugely critical and pivotal to every client and every audience's success. They are looking to serve their audience, their members, their team, their company goals. If you do the research, like we've mapped out here, if you show up on their radar with a high relevance, value-based conversation, it's simply an invitation to ask how you can help them. Please, please, please internalize this. You're not peddling, you're not pitching, you're not pushing, you're not being salesy, you're not being slimy. You are researching, you're filtering and sorting the best prospects that you would like to invite to a conversation on how you can help them. That is it. The biggest shift is don't look for ways to sell them your services. Don't look for ways to sell them your program. Do look for ways to solve their problem. They can pick up the vibe of someone who is genuinely interested in helping them to achieve success, and they can also instantly pick up the vibe of a peddler and a pusher and a salesperson who only wants to make a quick buck. So be the first kind of trusted advisor, not the second. Here's a bonus tip, by the way, guys, for your fee. Always end your speaking fee with the number 500. 7,500 sounds less than $7,000. 9,500 even sounds less than $9,000 because it ends in the word hundred. It doesn't end in the big scary word thousand. Thousand scares people. 7,500, 8,500, 9,500, 5,500. Easy. Easy to say, easy to buy. Think of it like a cute little puppy, right? How much for the cute little puppy? Oh, look, he's fuzzy. He's friendly. He's cute. He's only $2,500. That's not a $2,000 dog. No, it's only $2,500. Take him home now. Look, he's so cute. Look at that smile. Look at that boopy black nose. Look how cute he is, right? That's how you want to do your pricing. All right, case study number 6. Jim Bob Salisbury. In case you did not know, my friend and client Jim Bob, from the South, from Texas, as a matter of fact. Jim is in the education world. Jim Bob's in the education world. He has classroom management training, teacher, in-service days, etc. Let me back it up here. Jim Bob came through the program. He said, David, one thing that you taught in the program has made me $10,000 a month every single month ever since I took the program. When someone says this to me, I'm like, wow, okay, hold on. What was the one thing? He says, it was that outreach email template. Here's the outreach email template. Hi, Bob. Not sure if you can help me. Hoping you might point me in the right direction. Would you happen to know who's responsible for selecting speakers for your 2018-2019 conference coming up in October? I have a program titled blank. I'm not sure if a high energy leadership program, teacher in-service program like this is a good fit from your event. What I saw on your website, I think it might be. I'd like to connect with the right person to find out. Thank you so much in advance. I said, well, hang on. How is that making you $10,000 a month every single month? He says, David, here's my math. I'm making 5 high relevance contacts a day. That's simply 25 contacts a week. I get 10 to 12 responses. A response, by the way, is yes, I'd like to talk to you. No, drop dead. We don't pay speakers. Go away. Never darken my doorstep again. Some kind of response. Out of the 10 to 12 responses, 3 or 4 serious prospects have a conversation with Jim Bob, and he closes one deal. Now, again, he's in the education market, classroom training, school districts, school principals, superintendents. That is his market. That's going to be a lower fee than the business market. So his average program is $2,500 to $3,000. He's doing 4 of these a month. Imagine if that was a $5,000 corporate program, which kind of entry-level corporate fee. 5,000 times 4, that's $20,000. This month, next month, every month, you're already at $250,000 plus of added revenue on top of what you're doing right now. Some of the folks you work with, they're already doing 100K, 150, 200K. They want to get to 300, 400, 500. It's adding these kinds of strategies that will accelerate what you're already doing. If you're not doing that kind of volume yet, but like Melissa, you want to get up and running fast, you want to get up and running right, you want to do it right the first time, basically, don't do it the dumb way. Don't do it the dumb way. Let's get you that 15K, 20K revenue plan. Let's get that operationalized as soon as we possibly can. For Jim Bob, it was this. For other clients, as you saw, it was niching, it was sponsorship, it was targeting, it was prospecting, it was the referral strategy, the adjacency strategy. We've got a dozen strategies. Not all of them have to work for you. Maybe only 1 or 2 or 3 will work for you. So here's, in Jim Bob's own words, David, using just one of the strategies from your mentoring is consistently bringing in $10,000 a month. Working on my business week in and week out with focus, momentum, and detailed implementation assignments makes all the difference. At first, I wasn't sure of the ROI on spending this kind of money. Turns out, dollar for dollar, this program is the #1 best investment I've made into my professional speaking career. So, you can be penny wise and pound foolish. You can be lost in the woods and wandering around, or we can do it right the first time. We can do it right the first time. So, home stretch, sponsors, sponsorship, putting it all together, your perpetual marketing plan is what we send our speakers out into the marketplace with. And that's also, by the way, why Jim Bob had this success. He didn't do the work once and then let it drop. He operationalized the perpetual speaker marketing plan. He's doing this work every day, every week, every month, rain or shine, happy or sad, feel like it or not, and he did the work, so he gets the credit. So, sponsorship in particular, I feel, is the future of speaking. It is the smartest, highest leverage mode that you can deliver your value, because now you're speaking not for the speech, you're speaking to help the client market, advertise, sell, or promote something or some idea or some product or some service to their prospects and to their stakeholders. So think about this in terms of a much bigger scope and a much bigger impact, more volume, more customization, extreme customization, Often you're booking 5, 10, 15, 20 gigs per client. And that's what you saw Mike Thompson do at the top of our masterclass today. Sometimes nationally, sometimes globally. This is not a speaker model, although you are speaking. It's the problem solver model. Come to full fruition, come to full bloom. So some examples. A manufacturer wants to put you in front of their distributor network. A bank wants to put you in front of their high net worth clients. A financial products company wants to put you in front of advisors who recommend their financial products. A Fortune 500 company wants to put you in front of their diversity or minority supplier network. A pharmaceutical company wants to put you in front of their doctors or their patients. A software company wants to put you in front of their small IT shops, their value-added resellers, their small local computer consulting, like Microsoft, for example, is a great example. Microsoft wants to put you in front of their Microsoft CRM dealers, which are all small business owners and small computer consultants all around the country. There's 7,000 of them, and Microsoft hosts events and conferences just for those Microsoft CRM dealers to help them sell more through that channel. So, case study number 7, Mike Roby, sponsorship proposal. Now, Mike is a guy who's in the financial advisor business. He teaches and preaches and helps financial advisors get more clients, get more assets, do more business. Who wants to reach financial advisors? John Hancock wants to reach financial advisors because they want the financial advisors to recommend more John Hancock products and services and financial products. ING, same reason. Allianz Insurance, same reason. Right? So he's done projects with Allianz and ING and John Hancock, and we put this packet together to say, hey, here's the goals for the sponsors. Create visibility and connection for your brand. Right? If you want more of these advisors in the field to recommend and sell more John Hancock financial products and financial instruments, you got to make them fall in love with John Hancock. Bring me in. I will help them do sales training. I will help them get more clients and do more business, sponsored by and brought to you by John Hancock. So he put together this whole speaking and media tour. He also writes a regular column for Bank Advisor magazine, which is, again, going out to the same financial advisors. So now he's showing that, kind of combining some of these strategies about being in the ecosystem, declaring your niche, being the authority in the public. If you're not an authority, you can't get sponsorship. If you are not owning that mountaintop, you will not get a sponsor. So this is a very advanced strategy that I'm sharing with you, and it only works if you've dialed everything in the right way. So I'm curious, based on all those different examples I just shared with you, is there a sponsored speaking model that fits your business? And type that in the question box, just simple yes or no. Is there a sponsorship model that for your target market, for your audience, for the companies and corporations and associations that you want? Is there a sponsor model that you've been playing with, that you've been noodling about, that you're thinking about, hey, maybe these guys want me to do a 10-city tour. I could really help these guys advance their agenda or increase their impact or put them in front of an audience that they're already looking to get in front of. Is there a sponsorship model that's exciting you right now based on the examples that I just shared?
I love it. We have Carly says yes, and then comes back a second later and says, hell yes.
I love that notification.
Corinne says yes. Dominique says yes. Tom, yes. Jerry, yes. Across the board, they're seeing the connection, David. Corporate sponsorship has been very difficult, so we might need some guidance there, but everybody's on board.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'll tell you, it's a tough nut to crack, but when you crack it, like Mike here, and then also Mike Thompson, by the way, you can get a sponsorship if your name's not Mike. It just so happens that Mike Thompson at the top of our program today, and now Mike Roby, their name happens to be Mike, but whatever. So here's what Mike Roby had to say. David helped me negotiate a sponsorship deal worth tens of thousands of dollars. brought several of my product development ideas to life, advised me on how to reposition my expertise in my target market, facilitated my getting a column in my industry's leading publication, and added value in other ways I can't even measure. Now, again, all of these success stories, all of these case studies, Teresa and I will be the first ones to tell you. Would we love to take the credit? We would love to take the credit. Do we and can we take the credit? We cannot. Because these folks were super driven, they were decisive, they were committed, they took action, and they did the work at every step of the process. And these are the folks that we love to work with. We love to work with people that can make it happen. Teresa, go ahead.
Sorry. The other thing I think that's really, really important, this has to be urgent. Like, no more waiting around, no more waiting for it to happen for you. You're ready to take the steps that we're talking about. And the urgency has been there for these clients that have seen these kinds of results. It's do or die, now or never, let's get to it. And the urgency is also another driver of this success.
And I love the hell yes modification, right? Yeah, you say yes in the question box. No. Wait. It's not yes. It's hell yes. It's this. That's right. Happened yesterday. This needs to happen last year. It's bad enough I'm not working on until this year. This should have happened last year, and I thought I'd be further along. And if that's what you're thinking, we should probably talk. So I'm not sure exactly why you showed up today. It could be that you're a seasoned pro who wants to get more gigs at higher fees. And again, we've shown you how our clients have done that. You're an author or an expert who wants to speak more and earn more. And we showed you some different examples of how our clients have done that. You're a coach or you're a consultant who wants to turn speaking into longer term clients and back end type of professional services. Or you simply want to impact more people. You want to raise your game. You want to raise your fees. You want to get out of low fee and no fee hell. So here's your decision, guys. You can keep doing it the old way, get old results, doing okay financially, kind of chugging along, complacent, keep being confused. I put confused in quotes because you know something has to change. You're not really confused. You're just not willing to take action. If you're willing to take action, there is help available. There are strategies and tactics and tools and ideas that you can implement in a very short period of time. But if you don't, keep spinning your wheels, no traction, still not earning the money you deserve, not making the impact that you want, no guidance, no accountability, no support, and it's a hard, lonely road. Even back when I was talking about the referral strategy, so many speakers have this lone wolf syndrome. Can't ask for help, can't reach out, can't partner, can't get mentoring, are you kidding me? No one does anything great alone. And the achievers and the superstars, like the 7 people you saw here, they knew that they couldn't do it alone. So I'm going to invite you to apply for a conversation with Teresa or with me, because that confusion that we just talked about, that can all end today. And we're going to diagnose what's really going on when we hop on the phone. We're going to find the strategic gaps in your business of what's working and what's not working. We're going to help you get some clarity so you can refocus and reframe and reboot what you're doing, even if you're already fairly successful. We're going to look at what needs to be fixed with your messaging, with your packaging, with everything that we talked about today, your positioning, your pricing, marketing problems, sales problems, prospecting problems. And we're going to fill in what's missing for you to consistently get clients that you love and finally earn what you deserve. So we're about to go into our Q&A here, but we're going to open that up for you right now. I mentioned it during the little mini break in the middle, but doitmarketing.com/apply. That's going to give you open access to Teresa's calendar and to my calendar. We opened up some time. I think there may be even some slots this afternoon, tomorrow, and then into Friday. And if we have to open up more into next week, we will. These always fill up fast. Always, always, always. I would encourage you, if what you heard today makes sense and it is your time, go to doitmarketing.com/apply. And let's talk about this. So how we can help. Like I said, we've set aside some time to have some one-on-ones with you about how you can apply these ideas to your business starting today. The cost of these calls, because people often ask in the chat and they ask by email, how much does it cost? It's free. We're doing this at zero charge, but there is a catch. There is a catch. The catch is this is not for everybody. So again, we've been doing our filtering and sorting all through this masterclass, right? So this is not for you if building a high-fee, speaking-driven business is not your number one priority. If this is a nice to have and not a have to have, you probably shouldn't book a call. If you don't know what you want to be when you grow up, this is not for the hobbyists and the dabblers and the folks that are thinking of this as an expensive hobby. This is for folks who are professional grade. You might not be making the professional income yet, but you are drop dead serious about making this a professional grade endeavor. It's not for you if you refuse to follow a proven process or if you don't want to take action on the instructions that we give you. If you refuse to change your low fee mindset and your low fee business model. So gang, guess what? You got to be coachable. All 7 of these case studies, these folks came in with varying degrees of success. They were all coachable. Some were already successful, some were in the middle, some were at the beginning phase of this, but they all made drastic changes to their business to up-level their game. If you're a fake expert, this program is not for you. In other words, if you're a charlatan, you're a shyster, you're a goofball, your program or your topic doesn't truly help people and companies to improve, and then if you're down to your last few dollars, your bank account's running on fumes, you have no way to pay the rent this month, we do not believe in get rich quick. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is not make $1 million in your jammies. This is none of that smoke and mirrors and BS nonsense. This is for you, on the other hand, if you're serious, if you're decisive, if you're committed to making your speaking-driven business profitable over the next 60 days. This can happen way faster than you think. Whether you've started speaking or you're a seasoned pro, and we've got folks in our program that are making $3,000, $4,000 a month, right along folks that are making $30,000 or $40,000 a month, and everyone benefits from that cross-pollination and that camaraderie. Whether you've got your niche and your message nailed down or not, so please don't feel that you're not ready because you haven't made those decisions. Part of what we'll talk about during your breakthrough call is how to nail down that niche and how to nail down that message so you can start to own the mountaintop that you want to own. Whether you're in it full-time or planning your escape from corporate America, we've had very successful speakers that are transitioning out of that day job and building their platform, right? Build your well before you're thirsty, and even getting paid their first $5,000, $7,000, $8,000 fee while they're still working, right? They take a vacation day, they go out, they do the program, they come home. This is for you whether you've gotten a few paid speaking gigs or a whole lot. Most important, you're willing to follow a proven process to ramp up your revenue and that you take mentorship and direction well. And then finally, if you are serious and you want to put another $10,000 to $20,000 in your pocket over the next 60 to 90 days and build a predictable flow of clients and cash, Teresa would love to talk to you. I would love to talk to you. Let's get you the clarity that you deserve on implementing 3 or 4 of these ideas from today's teaching. And the place to do that is doitmarketing.com/apply. So on the call, we're going to help you get total clarity about exactly what you want your business to look like and the exact steps that you should take to achieve your goals. If you want our help and if we think it's a good fit, we may invite you to work with us and we may not. Either way, Teresa's main goal, my main goal on these consultations is to make it the most valuable 45 minutes that you will invest to grow your speaking-driven business and help you get results. So if you're ready for a rapid breakthrough, the lines are open, the calendar's open. I'm not sure if there's any spaces left today and tomorrow. We might already be out because those go always very quickly. Let's do our Q&A. And as you're typing that in, doitmarketing.com/apply, I'm going to invite you to pop a question into the question box, anything specific about today's teaching, any specific questions about the 7 overall strategies, the 7 case studies of what these speaking-driven rock stars did and how you can do something similar, niching, positioning, packaging, prospecting, sales conversations, sponsorship. This is what we do all day long. And frankly, we love it. And what we love even more than doing it is we love the client results that you've seen. And you've seen them on previous webinars. This is kind of a fresh set. You might not have seen these before. We love client results. In fact, Teresa, that's another t-shirt. We heart client results needs to be a t-shirt, my friend. We got to get those printed up. We got to get baseball hats. We got to get everything going. So who's got the first question? Any question about today's teaching and training as you're going to doitmarketing.com/apply to book your breakthrough session if you qualify and if you're serious and committed about making some changes in your business. If you're not serious and not committed to making any changes in your business, don't waste your time, don't waste our time, don't book the call. But if you're ready for a major upgrade, let's talk. Let's see if we can make it happen in your world. Question.
So earlier in the call, Barbara had a question about naming. So back to naming your company. And she says, I've been told your brand is you, use your name, but then it can't be sold. So can you talk to the use of your name and, of course, branding around that? And I think you have some very good insights in regards to focusing on the problem versus the person. So I'm going to let you address that, David.
Sure. Well, I think there's two things going on. By the way, anytime that you hear the words always and never as kind of blanket recommendations without the reasoning behind it. So for example, I said, never use your initials and consulting. And then I told you why. I said, never use your name and associates. And then I told you why. If you buy into that reasoning, right, then that's good advice. Someone says, oh, well, your name is your brand, period, end of sentence. Like, well, why is that? Right? So my name and this is like a brand, and we actually we mentor this in the program. It's about building your brand sandwich. Part of your brand sandwich is your name, but it's also your company. So you saw Scott McClymonds. Scott McClymonds is CEO Velocity. Tom Davidson is Leadership Nature, right? Susan Robertson, who we didn't talk about today, is Sharpen Innovation. So the name is the brand is the name. But you're not going to have the Susan Robertson column in the Business Journal. You're not going to have the David Newman column in Speaker Magazine, right? You might have the Do It Marketing column. You might have the Leadership Nature column. You might have the CEO Velocity column. So your market-facing brand. And by the way, this also, Teresa, whose question is this?
This is Barbara's. Barbara Trapp.
So Barbara, listen, very smart question about, is this saleable? But then my question to you is, are you building a saleable business or are you building a lifestyle business? And this goes back all the way to our very first set of slides: business model, service model, revenue model. So Teresa and I and our company, once Teresa and I are long gone, and let's say 50 years from now, because I want to live a long time, I want Teresa to live a long time. 50 years from now, Do It Marketing goes away. No one's going to buy it. This is not going to be sold, right? This is a quote unquote lifestyle business. This is not something where we're going to pass it on. It's going to be 500 employees and it's going to go crazy. So I know that, and I knew that for the last 10 years. I did not know it for the last 16 years because the first 6 years I was all kinds of crazy, conflicted, and confused. If you don't want to be crazy, conflicted, and confused, make that decision today. What am I building? Am I building a saleable entity? Am I building a lifestyle business? Am I building a consulting company? Am I building a training firm? Am I building a consortium and a network of loosely allied coaches and consultants? Am I going to have certified trainers going out and teaching my material? Am I going to license my intellectual property to corporations and companies? So these are all foundational strategic questions. If you don't answer them first, and that's why all those decisions come first, and then we talk about naming, branding, and titling. So many people get this wrong. They go, let me come up with a clever name. Let me come up with a clever title. Let me come up with a clever little, slogan. And dudes, I'm sorry, dudettes, it's not about a clever name. It's not about a clever slogan. Is it my name? Is it your name? Is it this name? Is it the name of my book? No. What are we building? Who are we serving? What are we solving? Those are the questions that you answer first. Always, always, always. Then the rest of the answers tend to flow very logically and rationally. So I don't want to do professional malpractice and answer, what sounds like an easy question with an easy answer. Easy answers have been killing you guys, not just Barbara, but everybody. Easy answers in the speaking business have been destroying your income. Easy answers have been leading you to confusion and analysis paralysis and a vortex of conflicted advice. I am pleased and proud to say that our mentoring program and everything that we teach and preach and coach and catalyze with our speakers, they've come from other programs. They've come from other boot camps. They've come from other craziness. And the consistent theme that we hear is this program finally works. Because I got bad news, guys. There's no easy answers in here. There's no easy. If we invite you in, don't expect easy answers. There's no easy answers. There's right answers. There's smart answers. There is profitable answers, but there's no easy answers. You got to think. You got to build the strategic foundation before the tactical advice is going to take hold. You got to build mindset around the strategic questions, around the tactical implementation, around the action steps, around the outreach, and it's an entire system. We have a system and a process for speaker marketing success. And again, I'm not ranting here against Barbara, but never fall for the easy answer, guys. Never fall for the easy answer, the quick fix, it's always this way, it's never that way. This is a business like anything else, and it's based on complexity, and it's based on Teresa and I getting really, really good at simplifying that complexity to the exact degree that it can be simplified, but no simpler.
That's right. Love it.
Boom, mic drop. Mic drop moment.
Mic drop. Boom. Boom, easy done. So Tom has a question, and we've got a couple of people on the call today, David, that are just starting out. They're super fresh, and I'm seeing some comments from them about, maybe I need to get my stuff together first, and where do I start? If I'm new to speaking, what is the first way to get started? And I think we've spoken to it a little bit, so I'm going to have you repeat some of those things because I think it's really important for those of you just getting started. You have to start. David, what else would you have to add to that?
Well, yes, and I'll tell you, it's funny. This whole concept of ready, and Teresa and I are going to do a whole video on this because this is one of the consistent themes that we hear all the time. Well, David, I'm not ready to step up for this this level of mentoring, this level of help. Maybe I got to go figure some things out first. Figuring some things out first in random order without the strategic and the tactical and the vetting and the benchmarking and the validating that we encourage you to do in the program, you're going to waste months of your time. So have we worked with people just starting out? Yes. Have we helped people do it right the first time and go from zero to hero? Yes. Right? But again, going off and doing it wrong on your own and then coming back to us in 3 months or 6 months or next year, now there's more to fix. Now there's more damage control and there's much more opportunity cost that you could have been booking $5,000 gigs 3 or 4 times a month in all of those intervening months. So let's say you're doing 3 gigs a month at $5K. By not starting, and I love Teresa's question here and basically coaching me on my answer, which is good coaching. The fact that you didn't start 3 months ago means that you did not make $15,000 in November, you did not make $15,000 in December, and you're not making $15,000 right now in January. The problem is you go out on your own, figure some stuff out, quote unquote. You're not making $15,000 in February, you're not making $15,000 in March, you're not making $15,000 in April. Add up that cost, and you don't want to be figuring this out on your own. You don't want to have that money be bleeding out of your bank account as opportunity cost when you can see in all these case studies, whether it's Tom, whether it's Bryn, whether it's Mike, whether it's Susan, these folks were able to monetize fairly quickly once the mindset was right, once the strategic decisions and definitions were made, and once the tactical game plan was put in place. But you're missing any of those 3 things, right? Mindset's not there or not right. Strategy's wrong or half-baked. Implementation is missing, funky, broken, or sad, and the results go to zero. It's not like you have to have just one of these working right. You need all three of them to be installed and operating seamlessly for you to get results. Would we love to help you sort that out on a breakthrough call? Yes. And if you're in a position where we can help you, we may invite you in. If you're not, trust me, we won't. We won't. We will tell you before you tell us, I'm not ready. But a lot of people shortchange themselves and say, I'm not ready because I haven't built out my website. I'm not ready because I haven't decided my topic. I'm not ready because I haven't decided my target market. That's what we help you with. At least on the breakthrough call, I mean, let's have a conversation about it. So you go to doitmarketing.com/apply. Let's at least help you figure out some of those foundational decisions, build out the business model, build out the revenue model, and see what you can do with what you've got. Teresa, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think anyone coming in at that kind of beginner slash, I am ready, but I don't have a lot of the building blocks in place. I don't think any of them had trouble making the decisions once they got the clarity.
Absolutely. Everything's in the conversation. There's insight and possibilities. You can't build a puzzle until you have the box. And it's about painting that picture so you know where to put the pieces and how they fit together. And without those key strategic conversations, you're wandering in this forest or sitting at the table with these puzzle pieces and have no idea how they go together. And you will spend the next 6 months or the next year, hopefully you don't, trying to figure out which ones fit together by trial and error. So at the end of the day, this is about helping you paint your vision, making decisions around what the right steps are in the right order to get the right results. And without the key conversations, you're wandering in a forest by yourself, and that's no way to live, right?
We don't like wandering in the forest by yourself. It's cold, it's lonely, you're hungry, it's bad.
And you especially don't want to build puzzles in a forest when you're lost, right?
Exactly. So what other questions do you have? I know that, Teresa, I think we had some questions come in earlier, kind of scrolling through fast and furious. If you asked a question before and we did not get to it yet, please retype, and I apologize in advance. Please retype the question now so it's at the top of the queue and we can answer your question about anything. We want to answer questions about any of the 7 steps. Answer questions on any of the case studies, answer on how some of these practices and principles apply to you, or anything that you need some clarity about. That's why we're here. And we've got another maybe 5 or 6 minutes to hang out with you. And then we got to kind of hop on to our first set of calls that are coming in for this afternoon. But I would just encourage people, as you're asking the question, doitmarketing.com/apply is where to go. Get on my calendar, get on Teresa's calendar. Let's see if we can get you some clarity and focus and direction on implementing some of these things if you're ready to take action. If you're committed, if you want to make this happen sooner rather than later, not someday, but now is a good time to make this happen. Because it's so funny. Let me just rant for another minute here as the questions are coming in. This is right about the time that all the folks, all the goal-setting people say, well, New Year's resolutions out the window. Takes about 3-4 weeks. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to take my speaking business seriously. I'm going to book more gigs. You know what? If that has started to crumble, if that has started to fall apart, if your momentum and your energy and your enthusiasm for building the speaking-driven business that you deserve is waning, let's prop it up. Let's pull the nose up on the airplane before it crashes into the side of the mountain. Let's get you the clarity and the focus and the direction that you need. If you want to reach out for some help and we decide it's a good fit, we may invite you in. And again, we may not. I mean, we model. Here's the other thing. It's very important for you guys to understand. Remember that slide towards the end when I said, don't sell them your program. See how you can help them achieve the results, right? We never, quote unquote, sell our program, push our program. If you're not the right fit, we don't want you in that. We don't want you anywhere near 10 miles of our program. We don't want you anywhere near our successful speakers and clients that are doing this the right way. You know why? Because it's the toxic energy for them, and it's not a productive outcome for you. So if you're truly not ready, let's explore that. And, we'll tell you before you tell us. But I see a lot of people who are ready and that are shortchanging themselves, thinking they're not ready, thinking small potatoes, thinking incremental. Let me work on this for 6 months and then I'll kick it off later. Guys, this is a business. You don't have time to figure this out for 6 months, 12 months, 18 months and do it wrong and handicap your revenue. Let's get you that revenue model and let's help you implement that revenue model as soon as possible. So book a call,
right.
doitmarketing.com/apply. What questions are coming in?
Linda asked a question earlier. She said she teaches and speaks on women's empowerment. And she said she uses it for their advantage, but she's having a hard time figuring out how a sponsor would be interested in that. So clearly she's looking at sponsorship as an option and a solution for her, but not seeing how women's empowerment would be attractive to a sponsor. Can you speak to that?
So women's empowerment, personal or professional? Like in the workplace specifically?
How to succeed in business.
Oh my God. Okay, well there's a ton. Okay, so we're just going to throw out some ideas. People say, oh, never give free consulting. Well, we give free consulting as we're here to help people. We're not here to beat you over the head. Every bank, every financial institution, every private wealth management company, they want more high net worth women clients. If you can come into a bank and say, I want to do a program that will bring in more high net worth women, maybe even specialize that down to, 50 plus, specialize it down to single. And these are all choices. They're not cumulative. But 50 plus, right, is one demographic. 50 plus women. Single women. Divorced women. Right? Oh my God. And again, they're seeing billions and billions and billions of dollars of assets that they do not have because their bank is not seen as the champion of a working woman, a senior woman, a single woman, or a divorced woman. And you could go so many different directions with that. I mean, that, again, not to hype this. I don't want to hype this. That is a multi-six-figure sponsorship. I almost said multi-million, but I'm not going to say multi-million. It's a multi-six-figure sponsorship play that you could have if you had everything else dialed in. But remember, unless everything else is dialed in, a sponsor won't touch you with a 10-foot pole either. So you can't like eat dessert first. You can't say, well, let me get the $500,000 sponsorship and then I'll figure out my niche. And then I'll figure out my messaging. And then I'll figure out the copy on my website. And then I'll figure out what my video should say. No, right? You got to walk before you run, before you fly. But as far as would that work for you? Heck yes. If everything else is dialed in and we decide that's a profitable strategy for you, then I think there's a lot of juice there. A lot of juice can be unleashed in that market.
Awesome. So we have someone who has already stated that he's a little on the newer side. And so he's wanting to know what your thoughts are in regards to public speaking, getting his feet wet, and just starting out with maybe a no fee or low fee.
Okay, so here's the deal. Start broke, stay broke. That's a bumper sticker. That's another t-shirt. There is no such thing. And this is fascinating, and we talk about this, and Teresa, you and I should do another Facebook Live on this. There is an elevation and escalation strategy in the speaking world. Think of it like an express elevator. When you get into an express elevator, it's an 80-story building. You go into the elevator shaft, the bank of elevators. It says floor 21 through 50. Right? So from 0, you go to floor 21. You can't get to floor 5. That's a different elevator bank, right? Elevation and escalation kicks in at about $4,500. From 0 to 4,500 is where good speakers go to die. If your fee is less than 4,500, you are perceived by the buyer as an amateur, a dabbler, a beginner, a goofball, and a non-professional expert. If the fee level that they pay determines your positioning. Price determines position. If I pulled up a Maserati in front of your house, Teresa, and it was like bright, shiny, has that great sound, and I said, Teresa, got a Maserati here for you. It's only $5,000. Your first question to me would be,
what's wrong with it?
What's wrong with it? Oh, I forgot to tell you it doesn't have seats. Oh, I forgot to tell you it doesn't go more than 10 miles an hour. Oh, no, I forgot to tell you in 50 miles it's going to explode. Why are you selling it for so cheap? There must be something wrong. This is truer, even truer in the expert and speaker universe. Our buyers, they connect price with position. And more importantly, they connect fee with value. So think about it. The less they pay, the less they pay attention. The less they pay attention, the less they implement. The less they implement, the less they get results. That's a negative doom loop, right? Where your programs are basically throwaway programs, nice to have programs. No one listens, no one pays attention, no one implements. Flip it over to a serious speaking fee, $45, $50, $500 as a starting point. They pay more attention. When they pay more attention, they implement more. When they implement more, they get more results. When they get more results, guess what? Your program was and is really and truly worth more because the impact and the outcome after you've left the building was better. Because they paid more attention, they did more of the work, they implemented, they got better results. That's what they're paying for. They're not paying for you to come and speak. They're paying for you for a certain outcome, a certain result, and a certain destination that they have in mind for their company, for their meeting, for their association, for their group. And when you charge a serious professional fee, and again, serious professional fees start at the minimum wage. Think of this as minimum wage, guys. They start at $4,500. Anything less than that, and you're coming across as a dabbler, an amateur, and a beginner. And you will not get booked because you're like the Maserati for $5,000. You are too cheap and you're scaring them away. You're scaring them away with your low fee. Another mic drop moment.
Let it sit.
People go, damn, is he serious about all this? Yes, I'm serious about all this.
And they need to be serious. You all need to be serious about this. This is serious stuff. This is your business and your lifestyle.
This is business, people. Business.
That's right.
Business.
So I have another question, and it's an interesting one because I think I want to respond first, and I'll let you elaborate. Do you have to solve a problem? What if you have a story to tell, an experience, inspiration, motivation, and lessons learned? Yes, you have to solve a problem. In order to stand out in the marketplace, in order to be relevant, in order to be valuable, you have to solve a problem or change a perspective or cause transformation by sharing your story. Your story no one cares about unless there's a lesson for them to learn from it, a new way to think, a new way to act, new choices to make. So while you have an inspirational story, how can you leverage that to benefit others and bring value to the audience? Because when you're booking with a meeting planner, when you're talking to an organization, it's got to benefit them. It can't just be a nice to have, that's fluffy and sweet. Oh, I love that. There's got to be something that people walk away that's tangible. So the answer is yes, you do need to solve a problem. The question is, which problem do you think your story best solves? David, do you have anything else to add to that?
I do, and I see that's Charlie Brenneman who's asking that question. I know, Charlie, you either had a call booked or we're talking separately, but Charlie has a great story because he went from his previous career to being a professional wrestler, I believe. So Charlie has that kind of celebrity angle to what he's doing. Most people, and the fear that we have, that Teresa has and that I have, oh, I want to tell my story. I was raised in the cornfields by wolves, and say, oh my God, no one cares. But I think if you go to Charlie's website, he's already somewhat positioning this as it's about, mental toughness, resilience, evolution, taking your skill set from one arena into another. Now, he's adding that celebrity edge to it because people want to see a guy in a business suit who used to be a pro wrestler. And so that is the how, right? That's the backstory. That's his unique angle and his unique take on it. Do we capitalize on that? Hell yes. Do we market to that? Hell yes. But does it also solve a problem? Yes, it does. And maybe, I think part of what Charlie might be wrestling with is it's been the pro wrestler story front and center. It has not been the problem solving application implementation of what he teaches, but it needs to be 50-50. Right? Don't hide the fact that you have this awesome, the pro wrestler kind of, and he's got this great face. He got like the big hair, the big beard. He's doing the big growl right into the camera. There's a great, huge photo on his homepage. We can market to that. And then they go, oh my gosh, this guy talks about evolution. This guy talks about transition. This guy talks about change. This guy talks about disruption. This guy talks about, go for the gusto and don't be a wimp. This guy talks about change and challenges and whatever. Those are the problems that you solve. And now the celebrity edge or the celebrity angle, and it could be capital C celebrity or lowercase c celebrity. Let's not worry about that right now. That is what's going to be the rocket fuel that gets him to the top of the pile. Or that says, wow, that's different. We've had a lot of talking head kind of speakers and experts and consultants. Wouldn't it be cool to hear this from a former pro wrestler? Wouldn't this be cool to have this packaged in this very energetic, high energy, high interaction kind of way? So it's a value prop with a twist. So I totally agree with Teresa, as I always do. It needs to be problem focused, but then the twist and what closes the deal is this guy is awesome. This guy is high energy. This guy has a great story. This guy's got a colorful personality. That's what's going to seal the deal. What gets their attention is, can this guy solve our problem? Is this guy going to be a relevant message? Because here's the other kind of celebrity that we typically don't work with. If you're a minor league baseball pitcher and you come and do a talk about, hey, baseball, and I was on the Yankees, then I was on the Mets, and then I was at the Indians, well, that's a celebrity baseball player, right? That guy's hired for one and only one reason, that they want to put sports fans' butts in seats. You love baseball? Come to this event, and here's Joey Schmedlap, who used to pitch for the Yankees. That's not a problem-solving thing. Now, there are ways that no matter what your speaking model, we can pivot, we can add a layer, we can shift, and we can morph that into something, and we have very, very successfully. But, I think Charlie might be a little bit down on your own situation after hearing us rant here about it. You are a problem solver, but it's in disguise right now, and we got to rip off the disguise. And then that's going to make the package complete.
Awesome. David, that's all for the questions.
Okay, right at the top of the hour, a couple minutes after. I know that the calendar's filling up. We're talking to all kinds of fabulous people. Let's just do a quick shout out here for the folks, because my phone is going bananas here. So we're talking to Rocco and Casey and Deborah and Maureen and Vion and a whole bunch of people. My phone is literally just kind of scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. So I know Charlie has a call booked and may have to reschedule. I think we had you on the calendar earlier, my friend, and we'll kind of want to get you back on the calendar so we can chat about this. Go to doitmarketing.com/apply. If we can help you, we'll tell you about that. If we can't, we'll tell you about that. And like I said, either way, our goal, Teresa's goal, my goal, is to make it the most valuable 45 minutes that you're going to invest in your speaking-driven business. Thanks for being with us today. You guys are awesome. We'll see you next time.
See ya.